Hi, this is Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com. Today I have with me the HTC Flyer. It's an Android 2.3 gingerbread powered 7-inch tablet. It's available now from Best Buy for $499.99. So here is the HTC Flyer itself. You can see it's a 7-inch tablet. It has a 1024 by 600 pixel touchscreen display. Touch sensitive controls in a couple locations. You see one set them down here, and there's some on the other edge for when you switch orientations. You can see them light up now, right across here. Put it back into landscape. Let's take a look at the hardware. Fairly thin device, about 13.2 millimeters thick. The entire thing weighs about 420 grams. You also can see the volume control here on the edge. Flip it around a bit. Here is the power button. You can see the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack as well. White color scheme up here. Nothing too much to see on this edge. And down here at the bottom we have a micro USB charging port. You can use regular micro USB cables and chargers to work, but HTC offers and includes a larger, more powerful charger that has a slightly different configuration here that also fits into this port. Charges the device much faster. On the back you can see we've got the HTC logo. It says with HTC Sense down here. A little bit of a bulge in the white plastic area here, and this cover right here where surrounding the 5 megapixel camera is removable, so you can get access to some other internal things. We'll show you that in a second. There's also a forward facing 1.3 megapixel camera. I've removed the cover from the back of the device so you can see the micro SD memory card slot. This device has about a little over 8 gig of internal storage free, and then you can of course put in your own micro SD card to add up to 32 gigs of additional storage. It might be hard to see, but there's now a hairline crack on the white plastic on the rear cover of the HTC Flyer. The cover is notoriously difficult to deal with, and a lot of people have been complaining about it, including our Russ Jeffries in the UK, who had a horrible time trying to get it off. I placed this back on and things didn't line up quite right, you can see here, and promptly it cracked. So I think this is going to be a real problem point for HTC with this device. Here's the HTC Flyer sitting on top of a 10-inch Motorola Zoom. Zoom is far larger. Much easier to hold the Flyer, but you definitely will miss some of the screen real estate when it comes to browsing tasks and maybe watching movies. Let's turn on the device and look at the lock screen. You can see we've got a couple of options here. There's some icons here. So I can either take this ring and just drag it up to unlock the device, or I can drag one of these items down into the ring to go directly to that application. Hit the home button here. This is the HTC Sense 3.0 system, so we've got a 3D effects. It's a rotating carousel of home screen panels. You can of course jump from panel to panel just like you would expect using a pinch gesture. Still, the home button will take you back where you want to go to the very first panel, but you have some options here in terms of what you can do. Along the bottom here we have the main menu button and shortcuts. You can set these 3 shortcuts to whatever you want. I've changed them around from stock a little bit to something that suited me better, internet and mail. There's also HTC Watch here, which is a video watching service. We'll get into that a little bit later. Also some controls for personalizing. You can change HTC Scenes, which allows you to configure a number of different widget and home screen panel configurations and switch from them one to another very quickly. Skins, I have the burgundy skin running right now. There's 3 skins available by default. Of course, there's a selection of wallpapers and the previously mentioned lock screen. You can change which applications show up there to show which ones are most useful for you. Just included weather there, so now if we turn off the device and turn it back on, we also get cool weather effects. And since this is an Android 2.3.3 gingerbread device, you have controls that are very similar to a smartphone rather than the honeycomb tablet controls we've seen on other devices like the Zoom. So, for example, there's still the notification area up top. HTC has added a bunch of different convenient settings to it though. You have your recent apps up here, notifications, and quick settings. Also works in landscape mode. but it's configured a little bit differently. So you see we have two different tabs, notifications show here versus quick settings. Really cool. So you can see things run pretty quickly on this device. It's powered by a single core 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. Animations are all very smooth and everything. Some things are a little slow to load up though. Some of these widgets, you notice it took a little bit for FriendStream to pull down some tweets. And the same is true of the contacts system and the mail system. You'll see it'll eventually populate. It takes a couple seconds. We don't see that on the smartphones though, so a little distressing. You're not getting instant access to the information. You actually have to pause and wait for a couple seconds before things come up, which I don't really care for too much. But otherwise the device seems to run pretty quickly with possible exception of Flash support inside the browser. So here's the main menu. You've got a couple different options here. Here's your most recent and frequent run applications, and there's also a tab, if you want to call it that, for just downloaded apps that you've installed yourself. I'll pull up the internet browser and you can see this is the mobile version of the Mobile Burn homepage. You know, it looks a little bit better in portrait mode, of course. You can tap through to the full Mobile Burn website and everything will load up decently, but you'll notice that the flash ads are a little bit slow in starting, even though it's a 1.5 gigahertz processor. At least slow compared to what we've seen on similar devices I've tested on the same network and everything. Now this is on a Wi-Fi connection with a 20 megabit per second downlink speed, so this is pretty fast data here. And you can see we're still waiting on that flash ad to load. It's a problem loading the embedded YouTube video, which we've seen on a couple of devices lately. This Verizon ad did come through properly though. And there we go. Finally, the Windows Phone 7 flash banner is coming through. So apart from the flash performance, everything seems to work very well. It's scrolling smooth. Got nice zooming effects. Of course, everything works in portrait and landscape mode. So the browsing experience is pretty good. I prefer to have flash turned off by default into an on-demand mode, which I think makes browsing better on flash-capable mobile devices in general, so it wouldn't have too much of an impact for me, but it's still not running as quickly as I would have hoped for. And just to show you that it can indeed do embedded YouTube videos, here's one I recently shot on the new Google Music system. See if I can get it to work. Frame rate's not bad. It seems to be a little bit out of sync though. You can watch it in full screen mode as well. Okay, and we can pull up multiple windows as well. There's a new window manager here. You can see it does a good job rendering the websites. Bookmarks. Bunch of bookmarks already there. We added a couple of our own. And you hit the new, so you can make a new bookmark or a home screen. And now it's saved to the home. And there you can see the CNN bookmark right there. Take us right back. You might have also noticed the bookmarks widget. And it's a pretty nice widget. You can see some of the changes in home screen management here. I'm going to just drag that off. Add a new widget. Actually, I'll add the bookmarks back, but I'll use a different version of it. You can see there's two different versions, and you can select which bookmarks show up. I'm going to tap this one here, and I'm going to say use all bookmarks. Otherwise, you could select bookmarks based on which tags were associated with them. So now we have a different view of the bookmarks here. And go back to Mobile Burn. Good browsing experience. It just doesn't always feel as snappy as it could. So here's a good opportunity for me to show you how the Task Manager application works. Showing you've got 100 meg almost of free RAM left out of 806, 700 some being used already. I'm going to kill the web browser application, and let's see if I can just tap on maps and I can get other information about it, just as if you'd gone through the Android settings screen. You can also do a kill all. And I'm just going to jump back to the home screen. I've jumped into the Android market, so you can see it's the smartphone version of the application. Things look a little small at times, not quite tablet optimized, but still a workable system. I'm going to jump into the My Apps section. You can see a couple of apps that are getting installed right now up at the top of the notification area. You can see Amazon MP3 and Google Maps were both updated. I'm going to install a new widget, one I had purchased previously. And you'll see it'll reauthorize it and then start installing it. And when I jump back to the home screen, I can pick a different panel. Let's pick the one with bookmarks we used before, and I'll remove this to make some space. And now you can see that the new Pure Calendar widgets that I just installed are available. And there it is. Of course, HTC has its own calendar widget, so I'm going to put that one on. You see we've got a couple different views. I'll pick this one here. Select which calendars I'm going to put on it. I'm just going to let it go with the default. And there's our calendar data in a nice HTC widget. One of my favorite things on the HTC Flyer is the Mail application. This is a combined view. See, we've got multi-touch pinch zoom gestures. Red messages are from a Google Gmail account. The green colored ones are from an AIM account. You can tap here to go to favorite messages. It'll show just starred messages, so you can see this is from a Gmail account, and here's the same message from AIM. Got some other messages here, proper formatting and everything. View attachments, view full header information. See if we can download that attachment there. Not having any success with it. It's multiple attempts I've made at this and it's not been working. Flag messages. Just unread messages. Really cool system. And of course it also works in portrait mode, and there it says network error, so it's definitely having trouble connecting to the Gmail server. Go back to the inbox. So in portrait mode you don't have the split screen view, but it is still very pretty nonetheless. Tap up here to switch accounts. I can go just to the AIM account, for example, and you can configure it to pull down a certain number of days worth of messages or a certain number of messages regardless of how old they are, which is what I'm doing right here. I'm pulling down I think 80 messages. After rebooting the Flyer, I seem to be having more luck with Gmail, and you can see the attachment just came right down. Now we can see the spreadsheet, which looks quite good. I'm going to jump into the Gmail client so you can see what it looks like by comparison. It's really boring compared to that lovely HTC developed email client. There's just not much to be seen here in the stock Gmail client. Although it offers really good functionality, has priority inbox, all those kind of things, supports multiple accounts as well. There's no split screen view or anything like that. That's really just doesn't compare. No multi-touch support. So, totally workable, but just not nearly as nice as the HTC client.